Hey, this is Chase from Two Star Wars Nerds. We're so excited that we get to talk about the Phantom Menace with you guys. But what actually happened is this discussion ended up being far longer than we anticipated. So what we're going to do is we're going to split this whole talk that we have up into two separate parts. So, I just wanted to preface it with that. Stay tuned for part 2. We're going to release it as soon as it's available. But with that, let's hop right in to part 1. Hey, we are Two Star Wars Nerds, and today we are talking about why the Phantom Menace still holds up after 22 years.
It's crazy it's been that long. I feel like it was just a couple months ago.
A couple months ago, you feel like it was released?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. For reference, I mean, you're I don't know, this is okay to say, I think. Hopefully, if not, forgive me. You're about to turn 30 next week.
On real Star Wars Day.
Yeah, May 25th, man. Awesome. You are a legit Star Wars baby.
Yep.
So for this to feel like it just came out a month ago, I honestly don't know what to say to that. But I
said a couple months.
Okay, fair enough. A couple months, decades, what's the difference?
Same
But,
thing.
this is part of our series on why we love the prequels. And here's the thing. 22 years, 1999, this movie came out. I was 7 years old when I saw this in the movie theater.
Wow.
And this whole story behind that is, long story short, I got my thumb stuck in an automatic closing van door right before we went into the theater, and I fell asleep in my very first Star Wars theater experience, and I was so upset. And anyway, my dad took me back later, but it's I loved this as a kid. I really did. This was such a cool movie.
Mm-hmm.
But we still love it as adults.
Yep.
And it's not just nostalgia. We actually like it more.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had a lot of discussions about this. And so what we want to do is just invite you into that.
Mm-hmm.
And feel free in the comments to let us know whether you agree with us or disagree. It's not going to change our opinions necessarily, but we'd love to have a discussion with you and see things from your point of view. So just to start things off, to be fair, we watched the 2011 Blu-ray release of The Phantom Menace. We didn't watch this on Disney Plus or the DVDs or VHS, even though we have access to all of those. So the biggest complaint people have about The Phantom Menace is the CGI. And on the Blu-ray, it's really not that bad.
Yeah, maybe I'm oblivious, but I think it's great.
I wouldn't, for me personally, I wouldn't say it's great. I think it's pretty good. Here's what I noticed. It's actually hard for it to pull you out of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It actually looks pretty realistic.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the reason is because George Lucas was a visionary.
Yeah.
And he did this blend of CGI, prop effects, and on-set locations. Mm-hmm. And so he really tried hard to blur the line between technologies. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why it works well. And you know what, George? Do your thing, man. Go and tinker, because the 2011 Blu-ray looks great. You got rid of the weird-looking Yoda puppet and put in CGI Yoda, and I think it's awesome. Mm-hmm. And also, the music is banging for this.
Yes,
it's so good.
I always love Star Wars music, and I actually have a great memory.
Mm-hmm, you do.
I had this CD as a kid, and I actually got grounded from Star Wars. I was a good kid. I didn't get in trouble very often. For whatever reason, I think I actually got grounded from Star Wars because I watched them so much and broke my dad's VHSs.
Man.
So he grounded me from all his Star Wars. And I was so distraught. I actually put the CD, he didn't take my CD from me. So I put the CD in, and I wrote a song, some lyrics over, over, I think, Duel of Fates.
No, it was
the end song.
Yeah, it was the processional, the triumphal entry of Like the droids have been defeated, like that awesome sound or that awesome soundtrack song.
And this was before Disney. This was before the sequels. And this was we have video of this. We have a VHS of it.
We do.
We just found it, and I'm singing lyrics that say "Bring back Star Wars" over and over again. And in it, I'm saying that I'm going to send this to George Lucas so that he will make sequels, because I really wanted the story to continue. Like, I was so obsessed with Star Wars.
It's so good. Oh my gosh. I for our like 59 subscribers, I'm trying to talk her into letting me release it and it's not happening right now. So who knows? I don't know what the number is we have to hit to get that released, but it is so funny. It's just this little girl who loves Star Wars.
And I show all my toys.
Yeah, you show all your toys and you have a song and dance for George Lucas to bring back Star Wars.
And I legit was going to send it to him, and I thought it was going to work.
Yeah, I mean, it worked, so thank you for that.
Don't thank me.
We got Star Wars back. I don't know if that's what you wanted, but...
Not quite.
So, anyway, Phantom Menace. Really what we've done is we've broken this movie into kind of 4 segments of why we think it still holds up after 22 years. So, first, we have the world building. And 3 worlds are visited in this movie. You have Naboo, Tatooine, and Coruscant.
I love Naboo.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Like, I would love to live there. And then even just the Gungan city.
Mm-hmm.
And I just always love seeing Naboo. It's one of my favorite, like, scenes to see in throughout the prequels. Like, every time you go back, I'm like, I love Naboo. I want to live there.
Yeah, and you know, even before we dive a little deeper into these planets, if we just look at how the planets appeal to us visually, like you said, Naboo is beautiful and
peaceful, like tranquility.
Yeah, and even Gungan City, you know, underwater, it's
so cool.
It's amazing. And when you look at Tatooine, you get a very different feel, but it's like that on purpose.
Well, that's why Anakin hates sand.
Yes, but it's like we're supposed to feel that desolate nature. You know, we're supposed to feel hopeless, and like even though like the Republic isn't out here. You know, we're supposed to feel that disconnect. Where, in contrast, Naboo, you know, it's not a hub, but it's a major player. You know, there is major Republic influence there. And even what's interesting on Naboo is you have really this conflict between the tribes and the city-states.
Right.
And even the history of Naboo, you know, the Gungans are the sovereign people. The Gungans are the ones who've been there, the indigenous people, if you will. And, you know, when human settlers came, they started building city-states. And there's been this division there the whole time. And so you even see, by the end of the Phantom Menace, you see this picture of division and reconciliation starting, and where really people were divided for a long time. Species were divided. You know, they're coming back together for a sole purpose of taking down evil, which is a thread throughout every single Star Wars movie.
Right.
It's amazing. And transitioning to Tatooine, and in this desolate, hopeless place, we find the Chosen One. We find the one who is meant to bring balance to the Force.
Yep.
And even when you look at Coruscant, you know, you have this planet that is all city, and it, I think, is the embodiment of greed and corruption.
Definitely, yeah.
You know, with the Senate having people bought out by the Trade Federation, you have Palpatine playing both the Jedi and the Senate, and you have the Jedi, who I honestly think are corrupted at this point. Because they're getting involved as like lackeys for senators. And it's just like, yeah, they're keepers of the peace, but you know, I just don't think they were doing what they were supposed to be doing.
I think they were blinded. Like, I think they thought they were in the right, and then obviously in Attack of the Clones, Yoda says, we've been doing things wrong, but I don't think they were intentionally trying to do anything wrong. They just got caught up, and then it slowly turned into something they never wanted it to be. I mean, in everything there's corrupt, so I know there's corrupt Jedi, because in the Clone Wars series we see that. But I don't think all of them were intentionally evil or going down that path. I think it was a slippery slope that they were slowly sliding down, and then it became something that they didn't mean for it to become.
Yeah, and I agree, and I think that's even why in the Jedi Council you see hesitation for things. Even when they're like, hey, remember this prophecy we've been talking about and we have been looking forward to and we've been searching the galaxy for, and we've been diving into the depths of the Force? Hey, this kid is right here. And they're even hesitant. And so you're right, they're just like, they've seen it enough, and they're just afraid. Fear has crept in. But even as finishing this thread on world building, you have this major political play going on, this undercurrent of politics moving the film forward. And really it boils down to taxation and trade routes. Crazy. And bureaucrats. And this is a kid's movie, but that's what's amazing.
I will say, as a kid, I did like Phantom Menace, but I never knew what was going on. It was like my least favorite. But now as an adult, I understand it a little more, so I could appreciate it more. But I had no idea at 9 years old what was happening. I'm like, where's Jar Jar? Let's see the pod race. Darth Maul's here. Cool. Like, that's what I got out of it. Yeah,
and I think there's just a little bit of something for everyone in this movie.
It does a really good job. It does reach kids, because George Lucas says Star Wars is made for kids, but it doesn't leave out adults. It covers it covers. I mean, for me at 9 years old or whatever, to be able to sit through a 2-hour movie, I mean, that says something. Like, maybe I'm not understanding everything, but it kept my interest. And I'm not the only kid.
Yeah, you're picking up what they're putting down, man. You're just right there. And why, we were talking about this, why we like the world building so much is it's fully immersive. And what's really fascinating is that you just get thrust into this place where it's like you just get to fully experience the worlds that are created. They don't feel empty. They don't feel lacking. They just feel full and vibrant. And there's a rich history that you're just invited in to explore.